New reports indicate that Donald Trump has issued a gag order on certain scientific agencies of government. Now, this gag order has to do with the EPA and the type of climate news and data they wish to publish online. Now, according to Reuters, Trump ordered the EPA to remove its climate change pages. Okay, so let me read that again. According to Reuters, a very reputable news organization, Donald Trump himself, ordered the EPA to remove its climate change papers. Okay, so essentially telling the EPA to not share taxpayer-funded data and studies with the American people because it goes against his own agenda of drilling for more and more oil. Now, if you don't care about drilling for more and more oil and you think that's great, all right, interesting. But you should also keep in mind that the president should not be telling scientists what they can and cannot publish and share with the American people.
So if you weren't afraid of science or data or information, you would say publish away. So for example, I believe climate change is real. Do I believe that because God told me or I have a personal proclivity towards anything? No, I believe that because almost all of the scientists in the world say that it is, and they have the data to back it up. Now, if you were to find data that said, oh no, actually 97% of the world scientists have flipped, and now they say climate change isn't happening, I would want to see that data because I don't want to be an idiot and go and have opinions that are not backed up by data. And I want to make sure that we fight for the right laws. So, for example, if climate change wasn't happening, then there may be other reasons to be against drilling for oil, but there'd be less reasons. And so that would maybe change my opinion on that, right? If the fracking isn't causing earthquakes, well, then, it's not as bad, right? If it doesn't release methane, it's not as bad. You know why we're open to facts? Because we're rational human beings.
Right.
And we think that we're on the right side of the debate. If you think you're on the wrong side of the debate, you're like, don't show anybody facts. Don't show them the facts because I know that if they see the facts, they won't agree with me.
Right. Look, when we were in grade school, we heard the cheesy phrase over and over again, and maybe some of us rolled our eyes, maybe some of us took it seriously, but knowledge is power is real, right? There's a reality to that because once you have information, once you have facts on your side, then you fight those in power who want to take advantage of you, who want to violate your rights, who want to destroy your resources. He doesn't want that information out there. They want to dismantle education and make it only available to those who are already rich and wealthy, okay? So the masses won't get the privilege of getting educated, which, by the way, I don't think is a privilege. I think is a human right. And then at the same time, they stop scientists from publishing crucial data that empowers us to make smart choices about our future. So it's beyond scary. So
now we're clear, though. We know who's in favor of science and who's against it. So if you're a conservative and you love Donald Trump, okay, you're in the anti-science crowd. No problem. Just own up to it. You don't want science published because you're afraid of facts. And so you're part of the party of ignorance. Now, that doesn't mean you're less intelligent, although that might be the case. There might be other reasons, though. Just because you're a Republican, of course, doesn't mean you're less intelligent. You could be very intelligent and would like to just, pay lower taxes so, you keep more of your money. You have certain foreign policy issues, whatever it might be. I get it. But if you say, hey, I like the Republicans because of this, then you're proudly part of the party of ignorance. And even if you vote for the Republicans and you don't like that they're doing this, well, you own it, right? This is part of what you get when you vote for Republicans. They block science. They're the party that wants to keep you ignorant. That's you.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is worth mentioning is that Trump's administration has decided to freeze funds related to the EPA and any new research or projects that they wish to do in the future. If they do want to publish something, and this is according to a transition advisor who is basically looking over the EPA transition, if they do want to publish anything, it will have to be okayed by the Trump administration.
In other words, it will have to be literally politically correct. It doesn't matter if it's scientifically correct or factually correct. In order for it to be published, there is one last layer. They have to make sure it is politically correct before it gets published. So, and if it doesn't match the Trump politics on drilling, and if it shows that it actually hurts the earth, hurts our citizens, and causes grave damage, well, you might be factually correct, but you weren't politically correct. That is not the correct political position to have, so you will not be published.
Yeah. Look, I was listening to an interview on NPR today that I thought was really interesting because, look, one promise that Trump has made is that he's going to bring back jobs. And Americans will continue fighting for scraps, and they'll maybe get some manufacturing jobs back, maybe more jobs in drilling and oil and coal and things like that. And the reason why I say fighting for scraps is because a lot of these jobs are dangerous. A lot of these jobs wouldn't pay enough for them to live the lives that they want to live, right? So we're fighting for scraps. But keep in mind, if we actually focused our energy on something like renewable energy, right? If we focused our energy on wind and solar, hydropower, do you know how many jobs that would create? That would be a new industry that would actually benefit society both environmentally and jobs-wise.
In fact, in the Justice Democrats platform, we say that we should be #1 in renewable energy. Right now, we're not winning with renewable energy.
Actually, China is beating us considerably when it comes to renewable energy.
Because their leaders are smart, and our leader right now is a dummy. And so that's why we're losing to China and Germany and all these other countries in renewable energy. We think we could be #1. Why would we cede renewable or sustainable energy to any other country? What, we don't have enough sun? Have you ever been to Vegas? Have you ever been to New Mexico? Have you ever been to so many parts of this country? We don't have enough wind. Have you ever been to Chicago? And we're not #1 in sustainable energy?
You know,
well, Justice Democrats say that we can create jobs and be #1 in that industry. And I guess Republicans say, no, we should be #8 or #12. Because they don't believe in America.
If you want to see this happen, donate $3, $20, $27, whatever you can afford. You know that if everybody that's watching this video donated right now, we could stop the fundraising because we'd have enough. So go to tytnetwork.com/go. We'll wait while you make the donation. Thank you for doing it and for building a great new journalism team. And thanks for watching.